What's going on? So apparently Loot Crate is giving out free copies of Final Fantasy 10-10-2 to people. I have no idea. I've just been noticing it on my Twitter feed. So many people thanking Loot Crate for giving them Final Fantasy 10 on the Switch, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so happy I can now play this portably and whatnot." And I'm telling people like, "Look, man, that's not the first copy to be portable. The first copy to be portable was on the PS Vita." Like, seriously, I have a copy of it on my Vita. In fact, it's probably in my Vita right now if I just charge the damn thing. I have Final Fantasy 10-10-2. I have Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 as well. These are games that were on the PS2 that they just happened to port over to the damn Vita. Same thing with God of War 1 and 2. These are games that made it to the Vita because Sony ported them. But when I told that to somebody who typed on their thanks Loot Crate for my portable Final Fantasy copy, they had no idea that the Final Fantasy 10-10-2 were both on the Vita. Like, they had no idea. They're like, "Oh, it was on the Vita?" I'm like, "Yeah." And one of them was even a Vita owner. How crazy is that? Sony, this is how bad you messed up with the Vita. A important game. This is not a little game. Final Fantasy 10, I don't know, I wouldn't say 10-2, but 10 definitely is an important Final Fantasy game. I mean, it was the first one on the PS2 generation that set the tone for the PS2 generation with Final Fantasies. The story was great. Final Fantasy X is not a little game by any stretch of the imagination. So, for people to not know that that game's on the PS Vita, that just shows how bad your ability to handle your handhelds is. That shows how piss poor you actually cared about the Vita. That goes to show you that. Okay? Now, I've made plenty of videos talking over the damn price point of those memory cards and whoop de woo. But when your own customer base doesn't know, that's bad. That's bad. Do you not realize the PS Vita was the Wii U before the Wii U came out? If I'm not mistaken, the Wii U came out after the Vita's release, and the Vita only sold 3 million more than the Wii U. Legit. I'm not making that up. It literally only sold 3 to 4 million more than the Wii U, which means it didn't break 20 million. And every reason under the sun is because Sony did not put the care or time or effort into the damn system. I also feel like the failures of the PS3 and the Vita are why you have companies like Square Enix pulling their most important games from Sony and releasing them on everything else. I can be wrong about that. I can be wrong about that. I don't really care if I am. But you gotta admit, you know, when you look back, the PS2 was home to Final Fantasy X. Excuse me. When you look back, PS1 was home to Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, even though 8's not coming to the Switch. Remember, they just released the PlayStation Classic, which failed, with Final Fantasy 7 on it. Maybe Square was feeling some type of way that 9 was not on there as well. Maybe Square was feeling some type of way because they were not seeing the profit from 7. I mean, there's a lot of things that could go into play there. I'm not going to get into why. But the fact that this is still happening is 2019. This machine was discontinued last year. And people who own the damn thing are not even aware of all the content on the damn thing. So, fix it. Sony, fix it and do it now. Do not allow a PS5 to come out with all that bullshit you were talking the other day. Make it a 4K stable and physically able PS5. Excuse me. Make a perfectly stable and make a quality product. Like, I feel like Sony's passion just is like a flame that's on its last limb. Honestly, I feel like Sony doesn't care. I feel like Sony just doesn't care. Like, oh, we make video games, but so what? Like, who the fuck cares? Even though it's where all their money's coming from. I honestly feel like the PlayStation brand just doesn't give a fuck. Like, they don't care that the PS4 Pro is in competition with the Xbox One S and the Xbox One S actually beats it. Like, they don't care. Why would you not care that a weaker console beats your Pro console? Like, why would that not bother? That should bother you. That Xbox One S is actually way better to own than the PS4 Pro. Now, you might be a Sony fan thinking that's not true. However, Sony's PS4 Pro is just a 4K streaming device. That's all it is. It's upscale everything, and it streams 4K. You cannot run out to the store right now, buy a 4K movie, plug it in that bitch, and watch it. You just can't do it. So it's a 4K streaming box. Xbox One X streams 4K, plays certain titles in 4K, and has a 4K Blu-ray player, which means if you want to start collecting 4K Blu-rays, you're more than welcome to, because your Xbox can do it. So I have to question and call you out on this whole 8K thing. 4K just became a regular thing to people. Your flagship console isn't a 4K steadily running machine. It's upscale. Why can't you make a 4K PS4 5 that isn't upscale, that is native 4K from beginning to end, with a decent sized hard drive, and be friendly to digital distribution? Because the fact that you pulled out your digital distribution from physical stores is a little worrisome, considering you're not very digital friendly. Be more digital friendly, have digital content in 4K. Like, bitch, you just bought it digitally, fuck the disc. Like, if you buy it digitally, we're gonna make it to where you can do that. You feel what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm out this bitch. Ha.